Hi, everybody. My name is Cesar Fernandez. I'm with BHB, and we have Tiffany here.
Hello, Tiffany Moncrease with First Sign Me Up, and I'm also with BHB.
Yes. And Tiffany, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. The first question I wanted to ask you was, because I'm very interested in everybody that sits here, how did you find out about BHB?
So I actually found you guys originally on Facebook. I stumbled across the page, and I kind of peeked you out to see what you were doing. I was interested. I liked the vibe of what I was seeing, but never could get a chance to get by. And so then my buddy Stephanie actually invited me to an in-person event that you were having, and I've been here since.
So I know that you also do attend other events, which we encourage everybody to do, right? We're not the right fit for everybody, but we also believe in leveraging, other people's network as well as allow yourselves to leverage our network, because we're about community and growth. So what other groups are you part of as well?
Well, there's a lot of those.
Okay.
So I am part of the Osceola Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a part of BECC, which is Black Empowerment Community Council. There's another group that I am part of in Davenport, which is CLG, Connection Leads Group. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, of course, I'm a part of the NAACP as well. And within that, I'm in Women in NAACP. So yes, I have quite a few of them.
So out of all these groups, do you have one in particular that's yours or that you like the most?
Okay, and that's the funniest thing, because I actually forgot to mention my own group, right?
Look at that.
I knew I was forgetting something. So Stephanie and I have a group which is Passionate Business Networking, and we meet in Point Siena. But do I have a favorite? No, I don't have a favorite. I love all my groups because the general consensus is about growing the community, right? And the more people I get to know, the more of an advocate I can be for the different businesses in the community as well as the people of the community. So I feel like it's very necessary to have a wide array of people and connections.
Yeah, and then like I said before, it's not for everybody. Every group is not for everybody. But if you feel comfortable in a group, stick there, stay there. Definitely, I was not used to this. I'm from New York, so plus I do digital marketing. So basically, I'm always behind the scenes, creating funnels, landing pages, and stuff like that, and wanting clients to call me. So this is very new to me, but I'm very excited about all the connections that I have made. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, great. So my company is actually First Sign Me Up LLC, and under that I offer a host of services as a notary signing agent, as an insurance broker. So in the insurance realm, I do life, annuities, also accident, sickness, critical illness, mortgage protection, right? And then I provide legal services for families and businesses under LegalShield, as well as identity theft protection with IDShield. So kind of like a complete trifecta, right? A lot of times we have insurance brokers because we want to protect the family and the legacy, but you also need LegalShield to do things like put your will in place so that your insurance policy is somewhere where somebody can find it if something happens, right? And also to be able to have access to legal services to know your rights and protect them, as well as your identity, because it's the #1 crime in the nation.
Yeah, and I mean, as a business owner, that's extremely important. We usually tend to believe that we can get sued, that we don't need legal services, but the reality is that it could happen at any time. And just imagine you build your business for 5, 6, 10 years, and all of a sudden something happens legally and you can spend $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 on just an accident. So it's very important. How did you get started? Like, was there something that happened personally that got you in this business?
Well, absolutely. And you're so right about the whole business owner thing, right? It happens all the time. And so I actually got started because aside from working a full-time job, right, which is perfectly fine, in this day and age, it's always great, and it always has been great to have an additional source of income, right? So I started a small trucking company, and we have 5 semi-trucks, and within our company, we had a huge company that owed us $10,000. And even though they agreed they breached the contract and they were at fault, they would not release the money. So I started trying to find help to get an attorney, and nobody wanted to help me because the rate was like $300 an hour, which was out of my budget. And the attorney, after I did like 5 or 6 intakes with different attorneys, he actually told me the main reason we can't help you is it's only $5,000. By the time we get the money, you're going to owe us more than the claim. So it's not a good fit. So I remember someone that worked at LegalShield, and I too am a New Yorker. So I signed up for LegalShield for my family, right? Because even in business, you're 2 separate entities. Your business is one entity and you're another entity, and they both have to be protected. So I signed up with the family plan. I got a business plan on the side, and LegalShield wrote a letter for me to that huge company that I had been fighting with for 6 weeks. And I'm professional, so I know to write letters and phone calls and emails and document everything, but I wasn't going anywhere. So LegalShield wrote the letter and sent it to the manager that I had been going back and forth with. And I'm a New Yorker, like I said. I wanted to see if it actually worked. So I went online and found out who was the president, the vice president, and also the head of their legal department. And I forwarded the letter to them. 15 minutes later, the manager calls me back and he's like, Tiffany, we got your letter from the attorney. There's no reason to go any further. Yes, we did breach the contract. We're going to take care of it today. And here's my personal cell phone number. If you have any problems, please call me directly. Wow. We actually have a little bit more than we told you, but don't worry, it'll be handled today. In 2 hours, I had $10,000 in my bank account that I never would have saw if I did not have LegalShield.
So even though you were going through this situation, you were still able to kind of purchase the service and render the services right away?
Absolutely, which was completely amazing. Like most times, if something's happening, and there are some things within our plan that you need to be a client before it happens. But in this case, they do letters and phone calls on your behalf and debt collection, and it was totally within the parameters. So yes, we help lots and lots of people every single day in businesses with these type of situations. And these big companies, they know that most people are priced out of the legal field. And that's why they do things like that. He didn't only have 5,000, he had 10,000 that I never would have saw if it wasn't for LegalShield. So that got me to thinking, like, how many other people out here need my help? And the answer is tons and tons and tons.
Yeah, I mean, just in the credit repair space, and I'll ask a personal question about my business when it comes to something like that. So I have clients that are getting sued all the time, right? So I think roughly I get an estimate about $1,500 to $3,000 for a lawyer to come in and kind of settle the case. Not even win the case, just basically represent them in court legally. So let's say a person is going through something like that already, right? Where they received the first letter, which they have to just kind of just give them a response, right? They just got to answer the letter.
Yes.
Because this could take months, 6 months, 7 months. You know, somebody like that could still purchase
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so our plans are subscription based. And so basically you pay a small amount, but because we have 4.5 million customers, you have access to a wide variety of services in the legal realm. So that can be from family matters, traffic tickets, estate planning, civil matters. And I did have a customer that actually signed up with LegalShield because she got a civil suit letter from a credit card company. And with her issue, she literally had dealt with the company one-on-one and set up automatic payments. Something happened within their system internally and they were not taking out the payments. So ultimately her account ended up being charged off and she went in to make a payment, right? And that's when she found out it was charged off. So she was like, well, this isn't really right because I set up with you to make my payment, so it should be taken out. Long story short, she didn't make any more payments because she was angry. Well, she gets a civil suit in the mail. Right? So she's like, well, this can't be right. I made the right arrangements. I didn't do it. But she talked to her LegalShield attorney and he advised her, listen, we can fight this. We can fight this, but because they're suing you and it's a civil matter, there would be an additional cost. But I'm going to tell you, according to the law, even though they did not take the payments out like you agreed, because you've been making payments for like a year now, you've already acknowledge that you own that debt.
It's like waived her rights.
You already acknowledge you own that debt. So although you don't like it and you're upset because they were supposed to take out payments and they didn't, I can represent you, but your option, this is the best thing for you to do. And then he told her bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
And she did that, even though it wasn't exactly what she wanted. But the main point is, number one, she knew what her rights were. Number two, she knew that she was not being taken advantage of. Number three, she didn't spend $1,500 for an attorney to go into the courtroom and do exactly what he told her to do. And she got it resolved. So you're talking about peace of mind and you're talking about affordable access, which everybody needs.
Yeah. I mean, what's like the lowest to like the highest range when it comes to the services?
Yeah, so when we're talking about personal plans for families, for individuals, let's start there, it's $29.95 per month. Family plans, $37.95 per month, up to $49.99 per month. And so the major difference in those two plans is in the $49 plan, we also do a simple trust for you for a flat fee of $250. But depending on how much more complicated it gets, the rate can go up. But now again, you're always going to be better off with us than without, because we have 4.5 million clients. You always get a discounted rate. So it's equivalent to me going out and purchasing insurance on my own for $400 or $500 a month, because it's only me, or I'm signing up under a group and I'm getting it for $180, right?
Like a group plan,
it's a big disparity, right? So you have you get a lot of services for a very reasonable amount.
Well, I mean that's very reasonable, for sure. I think when we did our trust, I think we ended up paying like roughly around $3,000.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so I mean, that's very reasonable. So besides your personal story, I want to get into how you build your business and how you want to build your business, right? Because for me personally, I always imagined I wanted to build a business a certain way, and it just didn't turn out that way. So we kind of entrepreneurs, we were smart enough to pivot, you know, and align with other resources and partner up and referral programs and all these things that come at you that you kind of have to do to kind of grow in a sense. So how did you plan on building your business, and what is the reality of it?
Yeah, so in actuality, at the point in time that I signed up with LegalShield during that event, I was working a full-time job, right? Like I said, I was building something on the side because I want generational wealth for my family, right? And we know that's the part that we sacrifice after hours to build our legacy. And so I just kind of thought that I would build it up to a point and, you know, at some point leave my job, right? Once I'm making a certain amount of money, and right, that didn't happen. So I was working my job and I was doing my LegalShield business on the side, but I was also a caregiver for my brother. Right. And so he ended up passing away. And so at the point that he passed away, the day we buried him, my best friend's mom of 28 years also passed away.
Wow.
And then my dad had a massive heart attack. So as the saying goes, life was lifing. I emotionally was in no position to do anything, right? So I quit my job because mentally I needed a break. I was just overloaded, right? And so I quit my job. And when those things are happening, you really don't care about anything in life. I'm not thinking about credit. I'm not thinking about bills. I'm just thinking about trying to get my mind right so I can go on, right? And for 3 months, I was out of work. But because of the small team that I had built in the interim between starting and that point, my business partners actually carried me for the next 3 months.
Wow.
So them out there still working and protecting families and businesses kept getting deposits into my account. And that's my first real life experience with leverage income. Because I've never ever worked somewhere and then if I don't go to work, I still get a check. That's never ever happened.
That's the best kind of money, right?
Exactly. Leverage is definitely the best kind of income. And so that's when I really had the understanding of just how powerful the services that I'm offering are, not only for my clients and businesses, but for myself as well. Because in the worst time of my life, you know, when I couldn't think straight, right, I got to take time for myself. And because of my team, I was still able to care for my children.
Yeah.
And not only that, we also win trips and things like that. I won all kind of trips at the lowest point of my life, and I have no idea how it happened, but every time I was super overwhelmed, I couldn't think of anything else, it was time to pack my bags and go somewhere. Went to Mexico, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos Islands. So. And
this is through the company?
Through the company.
Okay.
Through the company. By simple production, you win trips. And I'm talking about all expenses paid. Me and a significant other or a friend or whoever, right? It's 5 days. They pay for your trip, all you can eat, all you can drink. The rooms are beautiful. In Jamaica, I had a swim up pool to my room. I mean, it's like top of the line. We don't do anything skimpy. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like when I see the deposits that hit my account like day after day, I really can't wrap my mind around the fact that I make great income protecting other people. Like it doesn't, I still don't really get it. It's who I am though, because I care about everybody and I want to help everybody. And my family, I'm the little mama. So I've always been the one to try to take care of everybody. So when I say this platform perfectly aligns with who I am, couldn't ask for anything more honestly.
Yeah, and I mean and when people say you find your passion, you really don't feel like you're working. You know, we all get exhausted, but it's something that you're building for yourself.
Yeah.
When I fix people's credit, I mean, I'm amazed at just how thankful they are, and it makes me feel great. You know, so I don't think I'm ever going to leave this industry. I'm always going to be a part of it in somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So how, if a business owner wants to work with you, how does that look?
Yeah, so one of the things about LegalShield, they're super innovative. So we have apps that pretty much run everything. Like literally, if you have your phone, you have your firm, right? And so I would share a video, or I would invite them on a business overview, a short Zoom, and afterwards we would have a conversation to get their questions answered, and then bring them on board. And depending on how much they want to be connected or how little, we work it that way. Most people that start with us, like 85% of people, they start part-time because they have another job or they have a business, right? We even have lawyers on our platform that are associate partners because they specialize in one area of law and they know how much legal services cost, but they have people that trust them in that area, but now they need this. So they're not certified in that area, but they can refer them to LegalShield. And now they have residual income in a whole nother platform. So we align with everything, and especially credit, right? Tax preparers, in any industry. It's really not anyone that I don't collaborate with. Real estate agents all the time. Why? Because real estate is one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make in your lifetime. And you have to have some type of a connection with the person you're entrusting to sell you that house. Yeah. And so when you do trust them, you're going to ask them other questions about other things. Like people probably come to you and ask you questions that have nothing to do with credit, but it's because they trust you. Yeah. And that's super huge. So it only makes sense to collaborate because just like I said about networking in the different groups, we can help more people together. You know people I don't know. I know people you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, and this it's a way that you can create passive income. Like you said, you never know who's out there looking for that service, and you have it, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be you selling the service. You can just send them over to another partner, and he takes care of everything, or she takes care of everything, which sounds really good. I have another question here for you. Sure. If you can go back to the young Tiffany, right, the hungry Tiffany, the you know, I don't know how you got started, but I didn't think that I was going to be an entrepreneur, right? So, and then I was just too deep into it, right? What would be that advice that you would give your young self?
To my young self, I definitely would have started LegalShield sooner. I definitely would have. I definitely would be more involved with real estate and investment properties and things like that, right? Because that's really the way that you set up generational wealth, and also insurance. So I didn't get to talk much about that, but just real quickly, how I got involved with insurance. At a point, I was a retail manager, and I had $500,000 worth of life insurance through my company. But I also had a brain aneurysm. And when I had my brain aneurysm, I did not have living benefits. I didn't even know about living benefits, and I never even heard of it. So after I recovered and I came back to work, one of my clients was talking to me that was an insurance agent, like, oh, so did you access your living benefits when you, I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, well, it's inside of an insurance policies. Some, not all, most corporations don't put it in there for whatever reason, but you can buy it on your own. And so if something happens, you actually get to withdraw from the death benefit while you're here and get a large sum of money that keeps you going until you get back on your feet. So simple example, $100,000 plan. If I have a critical event, it pays 20%, $20,000 check in my hand. I didn't know anything about that. And I'm like, I'm a single mom. Like that really could have came in handy. How many other people don't know about it? So that's what started my insurance journey. Everything that happens to me, it starts something else. And then along the way, people kept asking me, hey, do you know a notary? Do you know a notary? I'm like, why not be a notary? Exactly. So now I'm a notary as well. So just try to help as much as I can, basically. Well,
I mean, you're a true entrepreneur, right? And I got into a little bit of problems because I was taking on a lot, right? So, but that's the entrepreneur spirit. You see an opportunity because people want a service. You know you can provide that service, and there's the business opportunity there, so you kind of jump into it, right? So that's, I mean, that's entrepreneur right there in its essence. Well, we're about to wrap up, and I just want to thank you for being here and being part of BHB. Through all the conversations that I have with you, I do understand the type of person that you are, the individual, right? So more than, you know, us being business owners and kind of having casual conversations, I do sense who you are. You know, we do align and I feel you every time you speak about, you know, your values and how you want to help other individuals. And I just want to say thank you for being here and sharing your story.
I definitely appreciate you. And I just wanted to add real quick before we take off, right? In reference to business owners, especially the ones that are starting their business, my services like LegalShield, IDShield, and the ancillary insurance products, they're at no cost to the employer. And that's super important because when we're starting out as business owners, sometimes the money's just not in the budget to offer benefits. But the reality is your staff wants benefits, right? And theoretically, they're working to build your dream, right? So we should protect them. We should take care of them. So I said that to say that I offer no-cost benefits that help you with your retention and your team's morale and everything else, because we do care about the people that work for us and show up every day. And when they're going through a life crisis, even though it's not our family, it is our family, because it affects us, it affects our business. So don't think that you don't have the capability to perform like these Fortune 500 companies and things like that, and the quality of care you give your employees. Sit down, have a conversation with me, and let me show you how to properly protect them. But thank you so much for this platform, and you know I love BHB and you guys, and it's awesome. So thank you.
Well, before we leave, give them your information and how to contact you.
Okay, so my phone number is 407-460-1323, and my website is first, and that's 1ST. signmeup.com. And yeah, so my business is First Sign Me Up. It's a little bit unique, like me, right? There's nothing just basic and whatever about me, right? I have my own little flavor. So 1ST, Sign Me Up. You can find me on Google as well. And yeah, I just encourage you all, if you are working a job, right, and you're looking at additional income, I am building my team. But don't ever be afraid. If there's something that you're passionate about and it's something that's inside of you, like walk in your truth, because the one thing I know for sure is whatever space you make, God will fill it for you. You just need a little bit of faith and to take that first step, and then he's going to help you complete your goals and your dreams.
Amen. Yes, yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.